March Madness is the greatest sporting event of the year. And today in this video, we're going to recap all 16 games from the second and final day of round one. Game one took place between an 8-9 matchup, Florida Atlantic and Northwestern. The first half was absolutely brutal, with teams scoring a combined 39 points. But in the second half, these two teams would get it going. Northwestern led by as much as 9 with 6:43 to go in this game, but FAU would fight back and actually take the lead 58-56 on a John L. Davis jumper with a minute left. Brooks Barnheiser from Northwestern would tie it up with 9 seconds to go, and then John L. Davis just forgets that there's only a couple seconds left on the clock and throws up a shot with 1 second left, sending us to overtime. Overtime was all Northwestern, and more specifically, all Ryan Langberg. The senior outscores FAU himself 12-7 in overtime. The Wildcats win 77-65. FAU goes from Final Four to first round exit. Dusty May is probably gone, whether it's Louisville, Michigan, wherever. Boo Buie played remarkably, and he's also having his best season of his career. This is just the third time in program history that Northwestern has made an NCAA tournament, last season and 2017 being the other two. In all three, they've won their first round game, but never made the Sweet 16. I'm excited to see on Sunday if the fifth-year senior can make program history. This video is brought to you by StatHead. StatHead is your all-access pass to the Basketball Reference database, and it's also a search engine that allows you to answer questions about basketball history in seconds. I personally use StatHead in almost every single video of mine, including this one. For example, let's say you're wondering who has the most points in a single game in March Madness history. With StatHead, you can find that answer almost immediately. You can put a variety of filters on your searches, giving you some pretty interesting records. They actually just added college stats, and we'll have a couple more tools rolling out in the next couple of weeks that I'm really excited about. If you use code HARDWOOD, you'll get $20 off an annual subscription. If you prefer monthly, they're offering a free trial for your first month using the link in the description. They also offer some pretty cool discounts for students, military, and others. Check out StatHead today using the code HARDWOOD or the link in the description. Game two between Baylor and Colgate. There's not much to say here. This was a blowout from start to finish for the Baylor Bears. 4 of their starters had double digits, led by Jalen Bridges with 23. They shot 58% from the field, went 16 for 30 from 3, which is good for 53%. Game 3 of the day, San Diego State, the 5 seed versus UAB, the 12. Fresh off a Final Four run last season as a 5 seed as well, the Aztecs found themselves down to UAB 58-55 with 6 minutes to go in the game, but would squeak this one out 69-65. Just one field goal was made in the final 4 minutes of this game, with the rest of the 13 points scored from the free throw line. Star forward Jaden Ledee for the Aztecs put them on his back, scoring 32 points and 8 rebounds, willing his team to the second round. Game 4, 2 seed Marquette versus Western Kentucky. Star point guard Tyler Kolek would return after a month absence in this game, and Marquette would look to avenge their second round loss last season as a 2 seed as well. But in order to do so, they had to get past Western Kentucky, the 15 seed first. The Hilltoppers would lead at halftime 43-36, but the second half was all the Golden Eagles, outscoring Western Kentucky 51-26. Marquette has not been back to the Final Four since Dwayne Wade led them there in 2003. Cam Jones and Tyler Kolek will be looking to change that. Game 5, the number 1 overall seed UConn versus 16 seed Stetson. It's no news to any of us. The Huskies are unbelievable. They are on a quest to repeat as champions, being the first to do so since 2006-2007 Florida. And this first game was a bloodbath, 91-52, outscoring Stetson 52-19 in the first half. Our final 6-11 game of the tournament, the first 3 were yesterday. And like we mentioned in yesterday's video, all 11 seeds won, making them 9-6 since 2021 versus 6 seeds. New Mexico was by far the most popular 11 seed picked to advance, with a lot of people having them in the Sweet 16 and even the Elite 8. So naturally, Clemson handled them the entire game, winning 77-56, because that's just how March works. Game 7, Auburn, a 4 seed versus Yale, a 13. Yale would get down 10 points, 68-58 with 7:35 to go, but would fight back, tying tying it at 70 with 2:38 to go. John Poulikitis was balling for Yale, finishing with 28 points on an absurd 10 for 15 from the field and 6 for 9 from 3, including this massive three-pointer, putting Yale up 73-72 with 2 minutes to go. But the last minute of this game was pure chaos. Yale would go up 78-74 with 13 seconds left. Auburn would get an and one layup, but miss the free throw. Johni Broome would get the offensive board. Auburn gets fouled and misses both free throws. Johni Broome gets the offensive rebound again. Yale with the massive block. Auburn scrambles and hoists up a 3 as time expires, and the 13-seeded Yale Bulldogs pull off the 13-4 upset, 78-76, making them just the 33rd 13 seed to win a game in the NCAA tournament, and just the second win in Yale's program history, the last one coming in 2016. The Bulldogs will look to make a Sweet 16 for the first time in program history on Sunday, matching up with San Diego State. Game 8, Florida versus Colorado. This game was utterly absurd. If you like offense, this was the game to watch yesterday. Florida was down 94-84 with 4 minutes to go before leading scorer Walter Clayton Jr. would score 16 straight points, tying the game for the Gators with 11 seconds left, 100-100. And then naturally, KJ Simpson for Colorado hits a game winner with 2 seconds to go. This was one of my favorite games of the day. Colorado shot an absolutely absurd 63% from the field. Clayton Jr. would finish with 33 points on 10 for 17. And when I saw both teams hit triple digits, I had to check StatHead and see the last time that had happened, which was in 2005, and only 9 times besides this game in NCAA tournament history have 2 teams both scored over 100 points. This was one of my favorite games of the day. Nebraska versus Texas A&M, game 9 of the day and tipping off our nightcap. The Huskers in the tournament for the first time since 2014 and before that 1998. But this one was all Texas A&M, outscoring Nebraska 58-44 in the first half, winning 98-83, led by Wade Taylor, who finished with 25 on 8 of 14. Game 10 of the day, Duke versus Vermont. Vermont hung around for the first 2/3 of this game or so, but it was Duke all after that, winning 64-47. Leading scorer Kyle Filipowski took 1 shot and only had 3 points, but Duke didn't really need him as they held Vermont to 38.5% from the field and 25% from 3. Game 11, Purdue versus 16 seed Grambling. Fresh off an embarrassing loss to Fairleigh Dickinson last year, becoming just the second 1 seed to ever fall to a 16. Purdue would take care of business, winning 78-50. The presumed National Player of the Year, Zach Edey, would dominate in this one with 30 and 21. Could this be a redemption tour for the Boilermakers? In a similar fashion, when 2018 Virginia became the first 1 seed to lose to a 16, they would turn around in 2019 and win a national championship. I'm curious to see if Purdue can accomplish the same thing, but only time will tell. Game 12, 4-seed Alabama versus 13 College of Charleston. Similar to Colorado and Florida, this was a shootout, but Bama kinda just dominated. Even though they gave up 96 points, they finished scoring 109, which thanks to StatHead is the most points scored in an NCAA tournament game since 2008 1-seed North Carolina put up 113 versus 16 seed Mount St. Mary's. Alabama has the 3rd best offense in the country according to adjusted offensive efficiency on KenPom, but just the 117th defense. They live and die by the 3, taking the 4th most 3-point attempts in the country, making 37% of those. They did shoot 60% from the field and 56% from 3 in this game, but I'm skeptical going forward in any team that just can't get stops when they need to. Game 13, Houston versus Longwood. Not much to say. Houston absolutely dominated. They have the best defense in the nation, holding Longwood to 44 points and just 16 in the first half. They'll match up against Texas A&M in the second round in a game that I believe is going to be highly competitive. Game 14, another one of my favorites of the day, 5-seed Wisconsin versus 12-seed James Madison. And the Dukes complete the upset in this game. And although they didn't even shoot it well from the field, shooting 41% as a team and 29% from 3, They didn't really need to, as they held Wisconsin to 37% from the field as well. Co-stars Terrence Edwards Jr. and TJ Bickerstaff led the way with 14 and 12, but I think the thing that was most impressive about this game for James Madison is that they led wire to wire and they just looked like they were in control the entire game. Our second to last game of the day, Utah State versus TCU. 58% of ESPN brackets were taking TCU in this game, and the betting markets had TCU moneyline at -180, but Utah State kind of handled them, especially in the second half, winning 88-72, giving the Aggies their first win of the NCAA tournament since 2001. And finally, our final game of day 2 of March Madness, 5 seed St. Mary's versus 12 seed Grand Canyon. St. Mary's was a pretty popular Sweet 16 and even a dark horse Elite 8 or Final 4 pick in brackets. But Grand Canyon was quite frankly just the better team in this game, especially in the second half. They held the Gales to 28% from 3, 39% overall. Tyon Grant Foster was fantastic for GCU, scoring 22 and 7. And if you know this guy's story, I'm so happy for him. He's a 6th-year senior who started off in JUCO, played 8 minutes a game for Kansas in 2021, transferred to DePaul in 2022, and in the first game of the season, he collapsed in the locker room at halftime. I won't go into too many more details, but basically he had issues with his heart that didn't allow him to play, that would keep him out of basketball for 16 months. And finally, around this time last season, doctors cleared him to play and he signed with Grand Canyon. He's been nothing short of sensational, averaging 19.8 points per game, 6 rebounds, and leading the Antelopes to their first NCAA tournament win in school history. I don't know about you guys, but I am cheering hard for GCU in the round of 32. How can you not cheer for a team and a player with a story like this? That concludes day 2 and the first round of the NCAA tournament. We had 8 double-digit seeds advance this year in March Madness, compared to just 3 last season, and it's the most double-digit seeds to advance to the round of 32 since 2016 when 10 advanced. So for those that love upsets like I do, it's been a good year so far. Hopefully this continues in the second round. If you enjoyed this video, check out my day 1 recap of March Madness I uploaded yesterday, and also my video from a couple days ago on how far each seed has advanced in the NCAA tournament. I'll be doing daily recaps for round 2 as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing, and as always, we'll see you on the hardwood.